Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara. My guest tonight is the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Uganda, Honorable Amama Mbabazi, and we are looking at the Public Order Management Bill, and of course we shall touch on issues of governance and service delivery. But earlier I put a question, not a question, a statement that the Honorable Prime Minister is going to be on the show on my Facebook account, and it went viral. Let me pick a few questions that a few comments and questions that you sent me. I'm beginning with Joseph Ochieno. Ask him if no mention of the word politics should be made under a tree by Bushera drinkers in Mbirizi or Marwa guys at Mukura Trading Center, a pot of each is surrounded by average 7 people, mostly men, and talking politics.
Exactly. This is this is the misunderstanding I've been talking about. The bill is very, very clear. That if you are engaged in... but before I say that, let me give a reason why this notice is important. You see, the notice is important to the police so that police can prepare to protect those who are demonstrating and those who are not demonstrating. The reason is when you organize a demonstration in a public place, let's say the Constitutional Square, you know, this place is open. Anyone can come there. You may not even have control over them, you, the organizer. So it's the duty of the police to make sure that you are protected, because you actually may be prevented by those who have competing interests, competing with you, from actually demonstrating. So the police has a duty to protect you, to perform, to enjoy your right to demonstrate. So it's necessary that notice is given and police prepares. If you are massive people, massive numbers of people, the police needs to handle traffic and things like that. I mean, can I give you an example? Every year, we, the Christians and others, we go to Namugongo for Martyrs' Day. Do you go?
Sometimes.
Kamara, I knew you wouldn't. But you know what happens? Because of the expected huge numbers of people, yes, the police controls traffic. Let me finish this
yes,
point.
The role is to maintain order.
They control traffic. They say, today, in order to manage traffic better, in order to make sure that people move without endangering their lives, traffic on Ginger Road will be one way.
But
if you want to come out
from the other way, they also have a role to uphold the right to protest.
That is not
so,
that's not prohibition. That is not prohibition. That's performing their job to actually maintain law and order. So, for them to do that, they need notice in order to prepare, in order to ensure that traffic and things like that are done. This is the only reason why notice is required. Now, under tree.
That is understandable. The problem only comes when they are going to discuss issues of governance, issues of accountability, when they are putting you on the spot to ask where government has failed. That is what you do not want to hear. But when they are going to pray, when they are going to wade, when they are going to baptize or merrymake, that's okay. But when they threaten the seat of power, that becomes a problem.
Yeah. So if you're under a tree, as Mr. Otieno is saying, and you are 2 or 7 or 50 people.
Normally they're about 7 or more.
Yeah. Can you discuss politics?
Why not?
Of course, you can. What stops you? There's nothing that stops you. As I said, meetings, for instance, I can tell you that meetings of organs of political parties, forget individuals discussing politics, but organized groups competing for political power. They don't require police. They don't even notify police if they are meeting and they are holding their party or organization meetings within their constitution or their own party constitutional provisions. It's only when you are going in a public place, as I said, like Constitutional Square or on a road or in a market or places where there may be a likelihood of breach of the peace, that you're required to inform the police so that they perform their duty of ensuring that there is law and order that day.
But normally what happens, even before this bill came into place, if you notice them, they told them they would actually even stop you. If you insisted, they would whip you off.
Well, that must...
If things went wrong, they could even fire live ammunition. That has happened before.
Yeah.
People have that kind of background, Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Kamara, have you read this constitutional provision? Article 29?
Article 29.
29. Have you read it?
I think I have. I can even get it.
Yeah, please do. I have it here. You don't have to take too much time. I can read it for you. It says, this 29, it says every person shall have the right to, this is D. This was Article 29, Clause 1, Paragraph D. So every person shall have the right to freedom to assemble and to demonstrate together with others peacefully and unarmed. Okay? Peacefully and unarmed. So who has the responsibility to make sure that it is peaceful? 212, Article 212 of our Constitution.
This constitution
defines
this constitution that has been in existence since 1995, we have seen it being breached again and again. When people even move peacefully, they are unarmed and they are not allowed.
But allow me to...
But you are quoting a constitution that has not been followed for many years.
But you are trying to hide what
I'm not hiding, because you are saying the supreme law is saying this.
I will read
but
it.
We have not seen it being followed.
But
as a reporter, Honorable Prime Minister, I have not seen people armed or being violent. I've seen this violence come in when the men in uniform intervene.
Okay, I'll come to that. Article 212 of our Constitution, which is about functions of the Uganda Police, says the functions of the Uganda Police shall include the following: to protect life, to prevent and detect crime, to preserve law and order. So, if the Constitution gives you the right to demonstrate peacefully, all right, it is the job of the police to make sure that the peacefulness is observed, because that's a requirement, that's a duty imposed on you by the Constitution itself. So you must observe it, and you do it on your own, or if you are not peaceful, someone else has the duty to make sure that there is peace, and that's the police. This is our Constitution, and it's very important for people to know that. 2, these accusations against the police, which are blanket accusations, I really don't like them, because in Uganda now, if your right is violated, you know, we have a system to address that. Go to court so that you present proof. But the idea of blanketedly accusing police of violating rights and things like that,
for all the times, for example,
is not correct, especially by you journalists.
No, for all the time
who claim a position of knowledge.
But we have seen, for example, Dr. Besige, who has gone to court several times and has not been convicted on any case. More than 35 times in less than in 3 years.
Who abuse, you journalists, who abuse the privilege of the media because you talk to the multitude of people by giving opinions which are false. I think you have a problem. So we want to say...
Right here, Honorable Prime Minister.
I want to say...
I have
Mr.
given
Kamara,
an example
I want to say,
and not an opinion of what I have seen.
I want to give... well, I doubt that, by the way. I doubt it. Because...
that unarmed, peaceful protesters have been violently pushed...
How do you know they are not armed? You, Kamara.
As a reporter, I've seen them. I've been with them.
I'm sure a reporter...
If they were armed, for all those times when they were taken to court, they would be in Luzira by now.
You don't even have capacity to detect it. You are not trained.
How come they have not been convicted?
The police
in courts of law.
The police is trained to do that. So, but that's not a very important point. You see, the important point we're talking about is that now, this bill that we passed is really to regulate. And regulation simply means to act in conformity with the law. That's all. Nothing more.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, Honorable Prime Minister, we take a look at the issue of governance and service delivery. Don't go away.